unless Michigan has a historic defense that we just don't know about, I just don't think Michigan's going to get to where they want to be at the end of the season. Like, I just don't think that, because you look at last year, right, when Michigan went up against Georgia, and maybe that's a bad, example because that was a historic defense, but nonetheless, Michigan couldn't get anything going on offense. And to me, in like I said, that might be a poor example, but once you get to the Final Four, there's only one chance that you're going to probably play a team that's not elite, and that's if you get the number 1 seed and you play the 4 seed. Because what from most of what we've seen, there has been some years that that's not the case. Most of what we've seen, the 1-4 matchup is a foregone conclusion. So if you're number 2, you're number 3, or number 4, you are going to play against an elite team. An elite team is not just going to let you run the ball all day long, 30, 40 times for 150, 200 yards. So to me, if you're trying to prepare for an elite team, right, like Michigan has the outlook that, yeah, we plan on winning the Big Ten, playing in the Big Ten championship, winning that, and going to the college football playoff. Well, if that's the case, you need to prepare for that today. You need to be ready for that. You need to start preparing for that in game 1. So that means getting that offense as dynamic as you can get it, so that when you do go against, a Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, et cetera, that you're ready to roll. Like you can go to, a counter punch. It's not just, well, if we don't run the ball, we're pretty much dead in the water. It's, oh no, we've got play action. We've got, we could throw the ball too. We can throw it over your head. So to me, that's I just don't see Michigan having a historic defense, or even a defense that was better than last year, this year. So because of that, I need to have JJ out there, because he is more dynamic and is going to, in my estimation, produce more points for the offense and the team.
He just gives the defense more to worry about. And Ed Rogers pointed out Ohio State won as a 4. What was that? I think that's the first year the CFP versus Alabama, when they beat Alabama.
Yep.
For one, I'll say this: that was a loaded Ohio State team. That was your typical 4. Most 4s aren't as loaded as Ohio State was that year. That was a very and so most 4s, and I'll put it this way: most 4s in the outcome every year in the college football playoffs is why a lot of people aren't for expansion. Of the playoffs. Because you're like, you can't even get 4. You can't even get 2 highly competitive games in the CFP. You typically only get 1 competitive semifinal, and then
sometimes the national championship,
and sometimes the national championship. So it's typically 1, 2, 3, really 1 and 2, and then there's a slight drop off on 3, and then even bigger slight drop off on 4. That's really how it's been. I think the only case scenario you may see a 4 beat a 1 is if it's like it's really a 1 or 2 team, but they had like a major injury at quarterback or something like that caused them to lose a couple games. Like let's say, well, you remember when what year was that? When maybe 2 years ago when Trevor Lawrence got hurt and DJ had to take over for Clemson. Like a scenario like that where like a star quarterback for a really good program gets hurt in the year and the backup is good but he's not quite able to. He caused them to drop a game or 2, but somehow they still make it to the CFP, and then the star quarterback comes back, then you may have a chance to upset a 1, something like that. But more times than not, 4, like you said, Des, you really don't got a shot because you're not on that level. You're just not.
Yeah. Well, we've had Cincinnati. We've had a couple years Notre Dame, 1 year of Oklahoma, I think. I mean, we've had some lopsided games in that 1-4 matchup. So it'll be interesting. Definitely we'll keep an eye out on training camp and see how that goes. These next couple of weeks will be big because if Harbaugh is sticking to his word, these practices, these passing sessions and stuff like that, they're gonna matter. I'm sure they're gonna all go into the decision of who's gonna start and who's gonna be the guy. So it'll be interesting to see, man.
No, and it is, and here's the thing too. Whoever he chooses, I don't think it's any. It should be exciting. It's exciting if he goes to Cade because that should tell you that Cade if Harbaugh was true to his word, it was a true open competition. That would say that Kate won it fair and square, and that he's prepared to lead this team. And you're returning for the first time since 2004. You're starting the season as reigning Big Ten champs. Either way, we're all winning as Michigan fans here, right? This is exciting. We're starting the year fresh as champions of the conference. It feels great. And if you go to JJ, it's excitement because not only are we the reigning Big Ten champs, but now is there room for more in this upcoming year? Can we dream for more? So it's a tough problem to have, but it's a good problem to have. I think that's a good way to put it. So no one's wrong here, guys. We can agree to disagree, but I think you have to recognize. I just don't think it's an easy decision, and there are pros and cons to going with either guy.
May the best man win.